According to Kiplinger, you may get a raise in 2022. So, in a strengthening labor market, businesses are paying more to attract and retain employees. So, as they recover from the economic fallout from the pandemic and seek to attract and retain employees, 97% of large companies are planning to boost salaries. The average raise is expected to be 3% next year, up from 2.7% in 2021, according to a survey by Willis Towers Watson, a human resources consulting company. Executives, management, and professional employees should expect to see an average salary increase of 3%, and the average increase for a production and manual labor employee is expected to be 2.8%. Pay hikes will also vary by industry, while salary increases in the oil and gas industry are expected to be significantly lower next year. Increases will be higher in media, healthcare, and financial services. Employees at high-tech, pharmaceutical, manufacturing, and semiconductor companies will see the largest average increase in Willis Towers Watson projects. So as the labor market tightens, the actual raises may be even higher than the projected amount, says Adrian Altman, managing director of Willis Towers Watson. Nearly 1/3 of companies are expected to increase their projections, the survey found. So you should negotiate for a bigger raise. The increase in pay raises comes at a time when many workers believe they're not paid enough. More than 3/4 of workers think they're underpaid, according to a survey by Business.org, a website targeted at small businesses. So if you fall into that category, there are several strategies that could help you negotiate for a bigger paycheck. Consider asking your employer for a cost of living adjustment to your salary, says Andre Lairs, managing partner of Shapiro Negotiations, a company that helps clients negotiate business transactions. That's an effective tactic because it points to an objective standard, Lairs says. You'll also want to consider whether the company has faced economic difficulties, such as a drop in revenues. So being flexible may also help. If you're willing to take a bonus instead of a salary increase, let your employer know that's an option. And while it's important to have the number in mind when you make your request, you may want to avoid mentioning a precise figure until you've talked about your performance, Lairs says. Now here's the thing, right? This is pretty much the ideal situation for employees to potentially get a higher pay. And what I mean by that is that if your financial situation is healthy, meaning you are not stressed to find a job because you got money in the bank and you don't have a lot of debt or no debt, right? You have the patience to negotiate for a higher pay for whatever company that you want to work for, right? But for someone who's like living paycheck to paycheck, or someone who just got off of unemployment, you're basically got no options available to you, right? So depending on your field, you could have a higher leverage point to where you could have a higher chance of getting paid more. Now, obviously, you don't want to do anything to harm the business because, in fact, the business is paying you money, right? So you want to go to show the business just how valuable you are to the business to the point where they will beg you to come work for them for that higher pay amount. So keep that in mind. And by the way, if you want to learn how to get out of debt, go to 40inbox.com.